The supplies you will need for this craft are 2 pieces of felt, a bit of pillow stuffing, and some scissors. Hello, bonjour, and tanse everyone. Welcome back to another virtual Sunday school. My name is Pearl, and I am so excited to have you here today because we are reading another letter from Paul. Now, I'm sure some of you are probably tired of the letters from Paul. You're saying, Pearl, get back to the stories. Well, don't you worry. This is one of the last letters we have. And for those of you who don't remember, or maybe weren't here the last couple weeks, Paul is one of Jesus's friends. And he lived a long time ago, back before there were any churches at all. And people used to gather in each other's homes, and they would sit and read and talk and sing and pray and write letters back and forth. And Paul liked to write to all of his friends talking about God's love and ways to live in God's way. So we are going to read this letter from Paul and see what he has to say this week. Paul says, "Dear friends, as people of God's church, help each other to be strong. There will be times when you will feel lonely or afraid. Other people may be unkind to you. They may try to make you act in ways that are not kind and loving. Tell them about God's love. You know that God loves and cares for you. God's love is like a warm and safe hug. God's love will help prepare you to do God's work in the world. As people of God's church, help and encourage each other. Pray for each other and for all of God's people. Always be ready to spread God's love by what you say and what you do. Remember, as people of God's church, nothing can stop you from telling people about God's love. Your friend, Paul." Paul is sure good at writing letters. He writes so many letters to all of his friends, and they're all so fantastic. Have you ever written a letter? I've written some letters, but I'm not quite as good at words as Paul is. I think my favorite part about what Paul had to say this week was when he was talking about God's love being a warm and safe hug. I like warm hugs and blankets and pillows and snuggling, and that's what God's love is like. You know what? That gives me a pretty good idea for a craft. What do you say, everyone? Should we go to the craft corner? Yeah, let's go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the craft corner. So today we are going to make a small stuffed pillow. And you're probably thinking, Pearl, don't you need to sew to make a pillow? Well, not this type of pillow. You're going to start with your 2 pieces of felt, and you're going to line them up pretty much perfectly. You want to have one on one side and one on the other side. And what we're going to do is we're going to go around with our trusty scissors, and we're going to make slits in the fabric so that in the end we can tie our 2 pieces of felt together to make our pillow. So you're going to take your felt, both pieces, and you're going to make a slit somewhere in here, just to start. And you want it to be a little bit long, just so that you have enough room to tie. So you're going to do something like that. 2 pieces of felt cut together into a little tab or slit. And you're going to do that all the way around the felt. So let's do that now. now that you have all of those slits cut out, it should look something like this, with a whole bunch of little floppy ends all over the edge of the felt, sorry. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to take our top piece of felt off, leaving just one piece below, and we're going to take our pillow fluff. Now, if you're doing a small version of this, like if you're using smaller pieces of felt, then you could probably get away with using cotton balls for this part. But I have pretty big pieces of felt, so I would need a lot of cotton balls. So we're gonna take our pillow fluff and we're just going to kind of put it in the center. We don't want it reaching the edges. We just want it in the center of our pillow. And then we are going to take the other piece of felt and lay it on top. Just like so. Now that we have all of our pieces together, we will want to take our ends that we've created and tie them. So you can pick it up like so and just take those ends and make sure they're matching ends and tie them together just like that. And you want to keep the pillow fluff away from you while you do this. You're just taking those ends and we're going to double knot them so they don't come undone. And that's why it's really important to make sure the ends are long enough, because if you've made your ends pretty short, they won't be able to tie together very well. So we are going to take our ends and just go all the way around, tying them together. And there you go. So once you're done all of that tying, and it probably took you a long time, I know it took me a long time, but once you're done, you will have the cutest little soft pillow with the ties all around the edges. And if you don't want all these edges sticking out, you could probably flip it inside out just before you're done and re-stuff the pillow. But I like the ties on the outside. I think they're pretty cute. And once you have that, you can, of course, decorate it a little bit. I have a Sharpie marker here, and I'm just going to do some little designs and maybe some words on both sides. There we go. So I have Pearl's pillow on this side, and then I have some stars and a moon and some swirly things. And that is it. You will have a lovely little pillow that you can put on your bed or maybe in your living room or just carry around with you because it's so soft and cute. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. I had so much fun today reading that letter from Paul and making our adorable little stuffed pillows. And as you can see, mine ended up being pretty small, but you could make yours bigger if you have bigger pieces of felt, or even smaller if you'd like. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and remember, God loves you very much, and you should love yourself too. Bye, everyone.